The next piece is included in the intel because it's got chunks of intel, but it's also got a backstory of what's really going on in Venezuela. So the stories of Venezuela issues are now reaching all the YouTubers and whatnot, and there's varying degrees of narrative put forth, little of which resembles the truth. Mentioning of the US have their funds and the Bank of England has their gold, when the reality is it was the Vatican itself that looted all of Venezuela's wealth. Oops. Now Maduro, who is the current president, I might add, not Guaido, who's acting self-installed president, and it's a case of who is who and what is what. Now Maduro, whilst not great, is not responsible for all the ills of Venezuela. It was all staged that way. This is what they do. They come in with Chinese investment and then bump the loan prices up, bump the interest rates up, and then a country kind of collapses, and then they take more assets away to pay for the debts. And it's all done over a period of time. It's been done in Ireland, it's been done in Greece, it's been done in Cyprus, and it's currently being done in America. That's the way they work. Now, Guaido is a US deep state puppet. And if the people of Venezuela or the people in the alt media think things in Venezuela are bad now and will improve with Guaido, you will be badly mistaken. Badly mistaken. So here is the background of what really happened in Venezuela. Back in 2012-13, the Dragons agency people formed a background group to the Five Eyes group. And for those of you who don't know what the Five Eyes group, it's actually 9. It's a group of intelligence agencies around the world, where CIA is one, KGB is another, and yes, they work together and have done since the 1940s. Oops, more Russian nonsense. Mossad, Pine Gap, and other countries, GCHQ. And the reason they form that is Pine Gap can go and spy on Americans and then pass the information to the CIA. The CIA, under law, can't spy on Americans. That's how it works. So these groups set up a background group involving several countries, including America and Russia, and this group is known as the Glue. And they teamed up to overthrow Mr. Chavez of Venezuela, except Mr. Chavez was a hugely popular leader in Venezuela at the time, back in 2012-2013. Now the gist of it is Chavez and Bush both hated each other with a passion, and because the latter wanted a piece of the oil and the in-ground resources in Venezuela, and Chavez refused and then nationalised the whole industry, things got dodgy for Venezuela, and the clowns came in and started attacking it. Back then, Mr. Chavez was selling gas to his people for 9 cents a gallon. 9 cents. Which made other countries rage at their prices that they were selling it at, and it made them look like pirates, which is exactly what they are. Now, Chavez also gave cheap or free oil to low-income people in America who were struggling. Again, mainstream media won't let you know that. They also did some sales to China, and an $8 billion deal was done, but subsequently that $8 billion went missing. That's another one where they collect funds to keep themselves going once the trust funds is no longer available to them. And this is what they're doing in each country. Oh, we'll make a deal, you send the money and we keep it, and then we don't give you what you thought you were going to get. So as Mr. Chavez was not bending to the global clowns, they gave him an accelerated version of cancer to take him out, and he died within 10 days. This is what they do. And in came Maduro, and more particularly the generals and the military out of Venezuela, who arranged a contract with the Chinese elders whereby they would all get paid trillions of dollars for Venezuela oil. This was back in 2013. So with Chavez out of the way, they thought they would all get rich, just like all the others have been promised the massive riches, and you all know what happens next. Yes, they never got paid. And the generals and the military in Venezuela who have waited for 6 years, and now the clowns are telling them it's all because of Maduro. That's why they're trying to overthrow him and install the US Inc. clown's puppet. Again, this is a familiar tactic of blame this and that one for the delays on promises, except it never materialises regardless of who or what is in charge. One day all generals will not only see through the illusion, but their own stupidity. So over the last 6 months, the generals have been getting rather pissy, I hear, because of their lack of payouts, and they are broke. Again, does that not sound familiar? And have now started to threaten the Rothschilds' Chinese elders. Message to the generals: threats won't work, only actions against them will. Now, Maduro this week has been told that Mr. Trump is out to kill him via the Colombian government and the mafia. This is total BS. John Bolton had blocked any contact between Mr. Trump and Maduro, and so that did not take place. But Trump needs to not listen to the clowns around him also. They are setting him up big time. Also in 2013, the Rothschilds-owned printing company De La Rue overprinted vast quantities of Venezuelan bolivars, pallets and pallets of them, and some of them are stored in Hungary and various other countries. And yes, the clowns have started selling the overprinted, valueless currencies known as bolivars to the gullible on the internet. You all know what happens next. Coming soon, the RV based on bolivars. Don't fall for it. It's not going to happen. So here's the recent history for those thinking of buying those rogue notes. The main currency of Venezuela since August 20th, 2018 has been the Bolivar Soberano. Now, since August the 20th last year, they replaced it with the Bolivar Fuerte, all sleight of hand. So when you go to cash in, those Fuerte won't be real. Or if they transfer it to the other way, the original Bolivar Soberano will have zero value, a bit like the Iraqi dinars and the Zims. Beggars belief. Now, the primary reason for a replacement at a rate of one of the Bolivia Soberanos to 100,000 of the Bolivar Fuertes, they're saying was hyperinflation. But who created the hyperinflation? The Rothschilds. Who will really get paid out on the selling of those notes? The Rothschilds again. Who won't get paid out on those notes as promised? The generals, the military, and the people who buy them. Same plan repeated over and over again, and yet so many people fall for it time and time again. The lure of bits of paper with numbers on appears to make all involved lose all of their common sense and apparently any rational thinking. You have to change that. Now, the message to the generals and the military of not only Venezuela but every country, including the clowns in this country, who have been made promises of riches: it's time you all got together and went directly after the people who have made you blatant false promises. 10, 15, 25 years waiting for an RV? Really? You will never ever be paid out, no matter how many full moons, rituals, eclipses or sacrifices. You've all been duped and played for fools. And it's time you all start to work together for your people and not these genocidal maniacs. All of you. You're going to get hung. because they'll take you out the same as they've taken everyone else out.